Bullying is not unique to South Africa. In fact, it happens across the world, where child victims from bullying can suffer physically and psychologically. In some of these cases, these kids even have to drop out of school or have to change schools to free them from these bullies. This can obviously have a further negative image imprinted on that child's psyche and education, especially since they have to leave their trusted friends and now they have the added pressure of making new ones. It's important that we try to prevent bullying and allow for early intervention, which is why we need to identify the characteristics of potential bullies who may have a positive attitude toward violence and the use of violence, have a strong need to dominate and subdue other learners to get their own way. These guys are impulsive, aggressive, and easily angered. They lack empathy towards learners who are bullied. They show defiance and aggression towards adults, including towards teachers and parents. It shouldn't come as a surprise that they are involved in other antisocial and rule-breaking activities, such as vandalism, delinquency, and substance abuse. They have a greater physical strength than others, generally speaking, and the children they bully in particular, especially in boys. And they are more likely to report owning a gun for risky reasons, such as to gain respect, or so they think, or to frighten others. In order for parents to know what they can do to stop this bullying, they need to look at some of the signs that may indicate that their child is a victim. These include that there's a sudden loss of interest in school and that your child preferred to stay at home. They've got a sudden loss of interest in their favorite school activities, as well as a sudden decrease in the quality of their work. They want their parents to take them to school rather than them using public transport or the school bus. Over the weekends they're quite happy, but on a Sunday, before they have to go back to school, they are unhappy and preoccupied or very tense. They suddenly prefer the company of adults, and they might develop frequent illnesses such as headaches and stomach aches. Bullying victims might struggle with sleeping, either by having nightmares or sleeplessness. They come home with unexplained scratches, bruises, or torn clothing. They talk about avoiding certain areas of the school or the neighborhood, and they suddenly become moody, irritable, or angry, and start bullying others such as siblings or children in the neighborhood. A sad reality is that bullied victims often seek the wrong friends in the wrong places, such as drug users and gangsters. They also feel sad, anxious, depressed, and have panic attacks. They want to stay home on weekends when the rest of the family are doing nice things. And worst of all, they talk about suicide. We know that a lot of the bullying occurs on school grounds, which is why schools have a vital role to play in combating this behavior. They can do this by enforcing strict anti-bullying rules as part of the Code of Conduct for learners, and then make sure that learners and parents are constantly informed and reminded about these rules. Teachers and parents should be reminded why it's important for them to model non-violent, respectful behavior. Teachers and other adults working with children should also be trained to recognize the signs of children who are in distress. Schools must always make it clear that bullying behavior will never be accepted, and they should stick to this attitude irrespective of who the perpetrators are. Schools can also host a conference, seminar, or information session to discuss bullying and the victim's problems, and they could involve experts such as psychologists and counselors during these sessions. If you are being bullied or your child is being bullied, why don't you contact the South African Depression and Anxiety Group, or Childline, or the Suicidal Crisis Line? If you want to read the detailed article about bullying or want to subscribe to our monthly magazine, why don't you contact our offices at 012-345-4660 or send us an email at editor@savamas.co.za. You can also visit our website for more details. Remember to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch again next week.